Hey everybody, it's time for Turn It On. Are you ready?
Coming to you from Music City,
Nashville, Tennessee.
the definitive arts and entertainment podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Turn It On. My name is Michael J. That little gem is something that I was introduced to by my guest on today's podcast, Joe Denim. It always makes me laugh no matter how many times I hear it. Joe had a great story about that lovely recording being used as intro music on a festival show he played opening for Toby Keith in front of about 30,000 people. He said the greatest feeling was looking out and seeing everyone in the crowd absolutely losing their shit about halfway through. And apparently, I guess Toby Keith came running out of his trailer backstage and looked at Joe and basically said, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" It's just made me laugh so hard. For those of you not familiar with who Joe Denim is, he's one of the funniest people I know, and he's also a very accomplished piano and keyboard player and a hit songwriter. He penned the hit "I Pray For You" for Jaron and the Long Road to Love in 2009, and this podcast was a real challenge for me in many ways because Joe makes me laugh almost uncontrollably all the time. And add to that the fact that we were drinking a significant amount of whiskey during the talk, and it's a recipe for what I like to call just amazing madness. I had no train of thought at all, but after listening back, it's a really funny and engaging talk, and Joe even plays a couple acoustic tunes for everybody at the end. This talk actually has led to some more exciting things on the horizon for me as well. It's the Nashville networking machine working in the most perfect way. The way to network here, for people who don't know, is simply just not to network. You just hang out and get to know people, and if you're cool and you can hang with people, then you end up where you're supposed to be. The guitar player that was playing in Joe's band, the Hillbilly Soap Opera, actually bowed out of the band because of some family issues just following this podcast. And Joe called me a few days later and asked me if I'd be interested in playing a couple shows with him, to which I immediately said yes. So a couple rehearsals later, and we all hopped into a tour bus and went to Nebraska and Iowa for a weekend that honestly literally changed my life. I've spent years being a complete goofball around those closest to me, and all those friends of mine that know me best will attest to the fact that I have a really pretty warped sense of humor at times. Generally, the darker and more absurd something is, the funnier I find it. However, I've spent a good portion of my life and career doing more serious things and not really showing 100% of my personality to the world. It's a scary thing to do, to put yourself out there like that. So I haven't really been comfortable with it. And, my closest friends always were kind of on me to, show a little bit more of my goofy side. And I just wasn't comfortable with it up until now. I've always been kind of a comedy nerd, and at a young age, I still am actually. And at a young age, I used to memorize Robin Williams routines and perform them for members of my family at holidays and family gatherings and stuff. And honestly, there's no greater joy in the world for me than being able to make someone laugh. It really is one of my favorite things to do. There's just so much heavy shit going on in the world right now. So to lighten the mood and just let loose and be goofy and stupid is a really amazing gift. So I was thrilled to death upon meeting the other members of Joe's band and crew to see that we all shared in that, in that characteristic. I was actually on the phone with my sister after the weekend of gigs that we did, and I told her it felt like I came out of the comedy closet. So I don't know, she got a good laugh out of that. A couple of my friends got a good laugh out of that. Anyway, the weekend was amazing. Everything went wrong basically in a lot of ways, but everybody rolled with it. The bus broke down after the first evening of travel, so we had to rent a couple vans and make the rest of the trek that way, which honestly bonded everyone even closer together. There was almost constant gut-busting laughter on a level like I've really never experienced up to this point in my life. Everyone involved with Joe's crew is also incredibly intelligent along with being witty, so it's just an amazing, wonderful combination. I felt like I gained a family afterward, and that's a really rare thing doing what we do. After hours and hours of travel and very little sleep, and just adverse conditions, everyone still wanted to hang out when we got back to Nashville, and so we ended up going out for Mexican food afterwards, which it never happens that way. After every other time I've come off the run of shows, I've always wanted to just get back home and back to my own bed or my couch as quickly as possible, but not this time. It was amazing and life-changing, and I just fucking love those people. I really do. Even more exciting than all that stuff, and that's pretty cool, is the fact that I'm now a member of the Hillbilly Soap Opera, Joe's band, and we'll be doing some more shows with Joe and the crew, including a really cool event called the Treetown Festival on May 21st through 24th in Forest City, Iowa. This is a really big thing. The lineup includes 38 Special, Dierks Bentley, Lee Brice, Maddie and Tay, the Eli Young Band, Daniel Bradbury, and Blake Shelton. So it's going to be amazing. If you're interested in tickets or you just want to find out more about the event, you can check it out at treetownfestival.com. So anyway, without further ado, here is my talk with the incredibly funny and charismatic Joe Denim. Now we're going to have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, we're out of shit. I already said that. I told you when you got here.
All the good shit. We talked about all the good stuff. Oh, God. So where are you from? Are you?
I was born in Indiana, Warsaw, Indiana, and turned 18 months, couldn't find work. So I had to leave.
At 18 months old, you left?
18 months old. I said I had enough and struck out for Ohio. Everybody said go west. I figured everybody was going west, so I headed east. 18 months. And I grew up in Vaughnsville, Ohio.
Okay.
A town of 200 people.
Wow.
Not even a town. I mean, there wasn't even a stoplight. True story.
Really?
There was a post office, a carry-out, and that was about it.
Huh.
So nearest town was like 20 minutes away of any significance. So literally grew up in the middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere.
So when I left, I stole the sign, and I have it hanging in the studio.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
True story.
The actual sign?
The actual sign,
From when you left at 18 months old?
No. That was 18 months was Warsaw over to Vaughnsville.
Okay.
So, yeah, I have the sign, and there was nothing to do, so I literally just, would play piano nonstop.
Yeah, how old were you when you started doing that?
9 years old.
9 years old.
Yep, 9 years old.
Who were your guys? Who were the guys that got you into starting to play?
My parents.
Oh, you're really?
Yeah, my parents said, "Hey, you gotta take piano lessons."
Yeah, I mean, who are did you have any influences? Was there music in the house at all?
My dad played a little guitar.
Okay.
When I say little, it was about like this.
tiny guitar for this.
Tiny Tim's guitar.
It's good. You're using visual cues on an audio podcast.
Yes,
it's
good.
good.
Literally, if you guys can't see this, it's about that long. Anyway, looked like a mandolin. I'm kidding. No, he played guitar, and he was kind of musical, but not real musical,
Yeah.
But he got us into it. And
siblings at all?
Yeah, got an older brother and a younger brother.
Okay.
And my brother, I drug him around once I started playing in bars at 16. I would drag him around to run sound or lights.
Okay. So, are they musical at all, or anybody else in your family musical besides your dad?
Well, Jim's on the road now. I've been mixing sound. He's mixed sound for Tom Petty and
really,
yeah, Tom Petty, and he's out with.
And what would Tom Petty have done that I would have heard?
Tom Petty, he was a rap artist. He had. Well, let's not go there.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jim's out with Montgomery Gentry now.
Oh, okay.
Running front house.
Oh, cool. So both sound guys.
My older brother John is in a different business completely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he didn't follow the music path, but he took piano. We all took piano for a long time. But yeah, Jim's definitely out doing sound, and we've been in bars since we were. Well, he was since he was 14.
Really?
Yeah. So it was great growing up in Vaughnsville, but it was a beautiful place to leave. I couldn't wait.
Yeah. So did you play in a band there at all, or did you have any?
First band I played in was called the Brass Monkey.
Okay.
And I asked these guys how they got their name, because I was like 16. I didn't know about the Beastie Boys and stuff like this. And they're like, well, our first rehearsal hall that we played in was a garage, and it was so cold in there in the winter that we said that it was so cold it'd freeze the balls off a Brass Monkey. And then the bass player went, oh my God, that sounds like the name of a band. So they named themselves. I fell into it going, it's the dumbest name I've ever heard. But had fun with those guys. And then I joined a band called the Mudcats.
Okay.
I'm not sure how that name came about, but we had a lot of fun with that. We played all over up there.
Yeah.
Ohio, Indiana.
Somebody the other day said something about Geddy Lee Lewis.
Yeah.
It's like a Jerry Lee Lewis sounding band that does Rush covers.
That would be hysterical.
That would be hysterical, but it made my brain explode. I didn't know what to do with it.
Geddy Lee Lewis.
Yeah. So where did you go first after?
I stayed up around Ohio for a while, but then I came down to Nashville for the first time on February 9th of 2000.
Wow. Okay.
And the reason I remember that date is because I came down to play a benefit for a musician who had moved down here to chase his dream and died of a heart attack. I should have taken that as a sign way back then. It all ends here. No, true story. So, first time.
Sorry, I'm laughing at that.
I mean, God rest his soul. But yeah, he moved down here, all of his dreams in a box, and died.
Oh,
so kids sitting at home, take note.
It's kind of a metaphor for what we all do, isn't it?
Exactly. It was a little guitar.
It was a little
like
guitar. It was an urn.
He earned it. I tell you that. Yeah. So
I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep a straight face this whole time.
No,
so
if you're not planning, if you're easily offended, now would be a good time to,
that's too late.
Yeah, file a lawsuit.
It's way too late for that. So
February 9th.
So, okay.
Came down here to do a benefit, and I remember pulling into town with a bass player friend of mine and my brother. It was my brother, Jim, sound guy, and Denny Tolan, the bass player. And I remember pulling into Nashville thinking, this place is tiny. I was expecting Nashville to be huge. 14 years ago, we didn't have the convention center.
Sure.
It was really, really different. Skyline looked completely different. So, I'm used to looking at Cincinnati and just looking at, Chicago and Detroit. And we get to Nashville. I'm like, this can't be Nashville.
Yeah, those are big cities compared to what's going on here. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, okay, maybe this is, Louisville or something. But
I had that same feeling when I saw Beale Street for the first time in Memphis. I thought, this is it. It's just that there's two restaurants here.
Yeah, you walk to the end of it, you turn around, you walk back, and it's like. But it took me a while of coming back and forth, of realizing how big it really was.
Yeah.
How small it was, but how big it was. But I had a friend from Saline, Ohio, a little bit south of where we were from. His name was Wendell Mobley. And Wendell Mobley obviously has, 15 or 25 or 30 number ones right now, but he kind of told me the ins and outs of Nashville. And
Well, what did he say to you?
his thing was like, look, if you want to write songs, you need to write with the artists, you know? And I'm like, okay, but I don't know Alabama. How do you meet the artists, you know?
Right.
So it took a good 6 or 8 years to figure out that simple statement. But there was a lot of good guys like Brett Mason that came out of Ohio, you know.
Mm-hmm. He's an Ohio guy?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's an Ohio guy, Grover Hill. Amazing story about him moving down here. But everybody just would come down. It's 5.5, 6 hours, and you're in Nashville.
Right.
And it was nothing like I anticipated.
Right.
So it basically took me 6 or 7 years to figure out all the back alleys and, you know, after hours joints and where the players went, you know.
Sure.
So came down here and started playing at the playing piano and B3 at the Boogie Bar and the Fiddle and Steel.
Okay.
Down in Printer's Alley.
Okay. Yeah.
And one thing led to another, and next thing I know, I'm on a tour bus and we're on the road playing shows. And
how long after you moved here was that?
I would say probably, I bet it was a year and a half.
Okay.
Year and a half of playing on the honky tonks and just people going, okay, you play piano real good and you play B3. And there's still not a lot of B3 players. There's actually B3 players, Hammond B3 players.
Sure. Were you lugging one of those things around?
At that time, I was lugging around a Leslie cabinet and a CX3. So not a full rig.
Right, but
enough to get everything I needed. I mean, the Leslie was an issue every time I tried to put that under a bus.
Nothing sounds quite like that, though.
No,
like all the simulators are kind of like it's not the same.
But the difference is between a keyboard player and a B3 player is the difference between a simulator and a Leslie.
Right, yeah.
I mean, there's no, it's
night and day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
So I went out with Buddy Jewell first.
Okay.
Went out and did some shows with him. And then from that, I went over to Steve Holy, and we started working the Brand New Girlfriend record. And we got that one up to number 1. That was as high as we could get it. And from there, and, you know, coming up then, that was 2006. You know, Blake Shelton was just coming out.
Okay.
Miranda Lambert was just coming out.
Sure.
I mean, Blake Shelton still had a mullet, you know, which he later sold to, what was that fella's name? Josh Thompson. Josh Thompson bought his mullet at a yard
the mullet
sale.
from Blake Shelton?
Yeah, he did, on Craigslist. And in Angie's List, they talked about how great it was.
Mullet for sale, free.
Yes.
You move.
Mullet, yes. Pickup only, no shipping.
Pickup only.
Local pickup.
Oh God, I'm losing my train of thought left and right here.
But anyway, it was a good time. 2006, because Blake Shelton went on to be huge.
Sure.
Miranda did. Chris Young did.
Right.
Luke Bryan. I mean, we were doing these tiny little shows where no one was showing up.
Yeah.
With Luke Bryan.
Yeah, that's a crazy grouping of people.
Yeah.
That's
And just to sit and look at it and be like, I remember when Taylor Swift was with opening for us in Poughkeepsie, New York. Mm-hmm. You know where Poughkeepsie is?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
You're from just up the road, right?
Well, Rochester's a ways outside of Poughkeepsie, but
I have a story about Rochester.
Do you? Well, let's hear it.
I had to move a tour bus.
By yourself?
Well, it was after a show. The bus driver was still asleep. The street
so you had to
was
move.
out.
Okay,
so I literally I jumped in and drove this thing, and we got pulled over. Now, driving a tour bus without the proper, utensils.
Come on, really?
No, true story. I can't make it up. I have witnesses.
I would have questioning you.
So we pull over in front of this gas station because Steve and the guys wanted to get cigarettes and something else to drink because we obviously had enough to drink.
Sure.
And here come the cops, and I'm like, man, there's $10,000 fine for driving a tour bus without a CDO.
Wow.
So we made up some cockamamie story, invited the cops on the bus. And they're like, we've never seen a tour bus. We're like, well,
let's give you a tour.
Let's show you around. So we show them the whole bus. They're like, what are you guys doing? We're like, well, we just played a show. And they knew the song, so of course they were all friends, you know. But then another cop showed up. Pretty soon we had 4 cops sitting there on our bus. And the rest of the band's in buying beer and cigarettes. The bus driver's at the hotel asleep. So
disaster averted.
Yeah, averted. I mean, you know. So, but yeah, that's Rochester. But anyway,
Wow.
Taylor Swift
Yeah.
opened for us in Poughkeepsie, New York. It was Steve Holy, Phil Vassar, and Taylor Swift.
Wow.
And she walked out there with just her and her guitar. And, you know, to see where it goes from just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that it's not the point of invention by any means, but for our era,
Sure.
that was a really magical time.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, imagine life before Taylor Swift.
Right.
Like it or love it. I mean, Taylor Swift is one of the biggest things to come out since Elvis.
Sure, sure.
And to see her standing on the stage on a Thursday night
Yeah.
by herself with a guitar when no one knew her,
Right.
and then to become what she's become.
Sure.
So, definitely replicates of the legends.
Right.
But, you know, 20 years from now, she'll be Madonna.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, we had an absolute blast. I mean, from 2006 on, it was just one after another.
Right.
Lady Antebellum, you
Yeah.
know, was showing up in a van with a U-Haul trailer behind it, you know, and it was just like, okay. But
I'm interested to know where, like, because you're a really funny guy. So where does the comedy aspect come into all this? Like, so you know, how does that work out?
Well, I mean, I think those guys kept me around mostly just because they wanted a good laugh. You know, I mean, the 20, 30 minutes on stage is like, okay, yeah, whatever.
He's an okay keyboard player, but he's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's all right. He can hold it down.
I've heard you play. You're good.
Yeah. He's way funnier than he is good. That should be a T-shirt. I'm funnier than I am good.
Listen, we're $10 million ideas right here,
Yeah,
right now.
write it down. If we see it out there,
Fortune cookies.
Yeah, fortune cookies. The guitar was this big.
The guitar.
No. I don't know. I just always look at things differently, and some of the funniest people I've met have been Steve Holy. Mm-hmm. But when you put Steve Holy on a bus with Blake Shelton, who is insanely funny,
Yeah.
I mean, we'd literally sit up till 3 or 4 in the morning telling jokes.
Right.
I mean, literally just telling jokes.
Right.
We couldn't wait to get off stage and start drinking more
Yeah.
and tell jokes. So, it was a thing that just kept going on and on from tour to tour, and I'd be the prankster and just couldn't help myself, just
Right.
finding the funny. And then,
Did you ever do stand-up?
you know, I never did.
Okay.
I never did until I was out in Vegas about, 4 years ago, and I was out there writing with Rodney Carrington,
Okay.
writing for his new record. And we were laughing so hard.
How'd you meet him?
I met him in 2007 at a CMT Awards show.
Okay.
And we sat next to each other, and we're sitting there, and they tell us when to applause and when not to applause. So he looks at me and he goes, I guess we're clap buddies. I'm like, so we have the clap together. And we were just instant friends. After that, we just went drinking and had a good time. But I was out in Vegas writing with him, and we were trying to write these serious songs, but we got to laughing so hard, we just kept dicking with each other. Can we say dicking?
You can say whatever the
Charles
fuck you
Dickens?
want. You can say
Yes.
whatever you want, Joe. God damn it. You can,
So, can't say fuck in front of a KID.
you can say.
Anyhow, we're laughing so hard, and he's like, look, have you considered doing stand-up? Have you thought about doing this? And I'm like, I don't know. So he kind of got the ball rolling, and so I started doing stand-up and just loved it.
Really?
Just absolutely have a blast with it.
Yeah.
But the funniest moments for me are when you mix music and comedy. There's
Sure.
just something magical about when you
Yeah.
take a funny idea and put it to a melody.
Right.
So that was probably about 4 years ago, and that's kind of what got the whole thing rolling.
Okay.
As far as just bringing, it's always been there. I mean, in college, and high school, I've always been just telling jokes and being an idiot.
Right. I think I remember. Well, one of the nights we went out together. We met in St. Croix.
With that Christian Mingle thing.
That Christian
Was that singlesonly.org?
Doing gigs with Chuck Wicks, or doing a gig with Chuck Wicks down in St. Croix, and one of the times we hung out in Nashville, I remember you have this knack of like saying things to people that if I said it, I'd get my ass kicked. But for some reason, your delivery of it, and I don't know what
I think they feel sorry for me.
Maybe
I think they feel like you can't hit that guy. He has an issue.
It was just thing after thing after thing. I'm like, if it were me, I would have gotten mauled by somebody.
I think the thing is they're so in shock they don't know what to get pissed about. So they just stand there and shake their head and be like, I don't know what to think or feel right now. I'm not sure if I've been violated, touched, or if I'm on How to Catch a Predator. But it's all in fun, and it's all it all works out, you know. I've been in 2 bar fights.
Really?
Yeah, 2 bar fights.
That you started?
No, I didn't start them.
Oh, okay.
And they've all been in the same small town where I'm from, actually. I've been all over the world. I've been in England. I've been in South America. In every bar in the United States. And I've never been in a bar fight. But for some reason...
2 bar fights in your hometown.
2 bar fights in my hometown. Sounds like a song. We should write that.
I think we just did.
Bar fights in a hometown.
Bar fights in a hometown.
Yeah, it'd be a good old Brantley Gilbert. Kick your ass, you sons of bitches. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
With a tailgate.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. With a tailgate and a truck.
I got my dukes up, my tailgate down. That kind of thing. 2 fights in a small town.
2 fights in a small town.
2 fights in a small town.
Oh, God. Yeah. I had a bunch of questions I wanted to ask you. I can't remember a single one of them at this point in time.
Look at your talking points.
I don't have any talking points. I don't do research. I don't make notes. I don't know. I just figured we'd show up and talk and hang out and see what happens.
St. Croix was an absolute riot, though.
That was fun. That was good. I think the first thing you said to me was an insult. I think you like the funny insult.
Remind me, what
I'm
was
not
it?
sure what you even. It was something about. I can't even know.
I remember having painkillers. I remember asking you guys if you had the painkillers.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what a painkiller is it's a mixed drink of coconut and 4 different rums.
Yeah. Oh God.
I lost count at 3.
They're way too. They taste like a girl. It tastes like you're going to get girl drunk.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, before you know it, it's
you're just completely.
Yeah.
Hammered.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? The more episodes I do of this thing, people are going to be like, we're drinking whiskey right now as we talk. So
what are we drinking?
Slow and maybe we'll get them as a sponsor.
We're drinking Slow and Low Rock and Rye.
Rock and Rye.
It's been around since 1492. It's 84% pure proof whiskey. It's really, really good. If you haven't had Slow and Low,
it's delicious. Yeah.
It's union made.
It is, yeah.
That's why
exactly.
That's why it's slow, because this is the union.
I pray the tire blows out at 110.
So tell me about this whole Tree Town thing that we talked about before we started recording, which we should have been from the minute one. I should have had something going, but
that's okay. Tree Town Festival came about through some mutual friends of mine. When I say mutual, I mean me, myself, and I, out of Iowa, who had this grand scheme about starting a festival. And they talked about it for 7 years. Forever. To the point where I got tired of hearing about it. But finally everything clicked, and they worked out a deal with the landowners to do this festival. And they named it Tree Town because Mason City was apparently the only town in that area of cornfields that actually had trees. So it made a logical solution to call it Tree Town, which I'm in the process of trying to come up with some gang signs for Tree Town. I'm not sure if it's a T or a... Anyway.
Again, another visual thing that nobody... What a disaster.
Go figure.
I'm failing.
That's us drinking...
Slow and low.
Anyway.
Yep.
The Tree Town came about, and it's finally all come to fruition. And the first year... out in the middle of a cornfield, Brad Paisley, Toby Keith, Brantley Gilbert, Chris Young, Leah Turner, Charlie Worsham. I know I'm forgetting a few. It was an amazing lineup. First, inaugural deal, they brought in the big guns. Toby Keith, on Memorial Day. Yeah. So attendance was just off the chain. And they asked me to keep coming back and hosting it. And playing it, so we take the band up there, and and people love it.
Right.
So we make a 3-day weekend out of it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
This year's going to be headliner on Thursday night is 38 Special.
Really?
They're doing a rock
God,
night.
man, that's crazy.
I mean, 38 Special.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah.
They're still at it, huh?
They're still going at
That's
it.
crazy.
I mean, they're special at this point.
Special.
They're 98 Special.
98 Special.
It's 98 Special. It's a new band. Anyway, 98 Special is going to be there on Thursday. And then Friday night is Dierks Bentley headlining. Saturday night is Blake Shelton. And Sunday night is Rascal Flatts.
Yeah.
And then there's 12 bands, Lee Brice, Eli Young Band, just all the cool guys on the charts.
Right.
Maddie and Tay. They're going to be that guy in the country song.
Yeah. The guy in the country song.
I'm working on it. Anyway, it's turned into a big thing. I get to host it, I get to promote it, and we get to play it.
Right.
So it's just it's a fun thing, and it's Memorial Day weekend, and it's really turned into an amazing thing. Coors Light's sponsoring it. Tito's Vodka is providing all the lubrication for the vocal cords.
Plenty of that is needed.
Plenty of that, yeah. So there'll be cases of that. So I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I know it's going to go amazing.
Do you ever feel any pressure going out and doing something like that? I mean, do you ever get nervous, or is it just? I mean, are you just on all the time?
Well, I got to watch my mouth, because it's like an all ages thing, and it's all on camera, and it's all there's video of all of it. So I really have to, try to kind of watch what I say.
Yeah,
which I'm okay with that.
Sure,
but that's the biggest thing for me is making sure I don't, because a lot of the funny comes from just off the cuff. First thing you think of, hit it and say it.
Sure,
it's not like being in a bar, You got to kind of dance around a little bit. Yeah. That's the only thing that I have to be aware of. Not nervous, but aware of. Right. The rest of it just falls into place.
When you're playing to 20, 30,000 people, is there a specific way you go about? I mean, it's a huge crowd to project to. So do you perform to the front, like just the front rows kind of, or do you do the whole thing where you're not looking at them, you're looking over them and performing to the back, or what do you do?
If I can get the first 20 feet, if I can get the first 20 feet of people,
then you got everybody
locked in. I got the rest of them.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's a lot of people. Yeah. And you're 65 feet or 45 feet tall on a Jumbotron. They can see you, but you can't see them. Yeah. So you got to concentrate on the first 20 feet. It's just like, to me, I mean, I go back, I spent 7 years in Nashville playing these little stages up and down Broadway. Yeah. When we come off the road from doing these shows and working these number ones, we're all bored, so we just go down and even if it was for fun. Yeah. We'd spend 3, 4, 5 hours playing downtown.
I played a couple of them with you.
Yeah, right. and you know how it is. So you've got that first 20 feet. Sure. If you got the first 20 feet, you got the rest of it. Yeah. So in my mind, those stages are, the Tootsie stage.
It's the same thing basically. Yeah, so you just look at it the same way. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I can't engage the first 20 feet, then I'm missing it.
Right.
And if I do, then I've got them.
Yeah, yeah.
So, because, the guy that's out at 300 feet or 400 feet or at the back of the crowd is still seeing you.
Huge.
At 50 feet, you're 50 feet tall.
Right.
The guitar.
This little guitar about this big.
Yeah. So, that's how I look at it. Get the first 20 feet and you're fine.
Cool. How do you approach the writing process? Like, what's your what inspires you generally? Do you just give me an idea what your process is, if you have one?
I think the process, if I could be honest about it, which I probably shouldn't be, but I will be, my best writing occurs after a great night of drinking.
Really?
Yes. Okay. Not drinking, but the night after. I'm sorry, the morning after.
Really?
Like if I go out and have a really good drunk and wake up, that's when my best ideas are right there.
Okay.
True story.
Yeah, okay.
So, and I've talked to different writers about this. You write different stuff if you're drinking tequila, if you're drinking Jack, or if you're drinking vodka. It's really weird.
Really?
True story. But the night after, going out drinking all night, or the morning after, I keep messing that up. the morning after a really good drunk fest is when I've had, my most, I guess, prolific moments.
So you just wake up and start playing and stuff just starts happening, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
True. I mean, that's...
Yeah.
Pray for you showed up that way. I wrote Pray for You on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
After being out all night
This is the
Saturday.
song with Jaron. The hit song.
Yeah, the hit song.
The hit single.
The hit single. I pray a flower pot falls from a windowsill. That was, I mean, how could you not be hungover when you write about that?
Yeah.
But it was a true story about an ex.
Okay.
That showed up after a night of drinking.
Right.
And I think, a lot of people, say they lean on alcohol or they lean on different things. I think it's just an enabler to get the truth out.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, true. Yeah. It reduces inhibitions for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's true with writing. I found it to be true with writing. But it's funny, the different stuff. Hold on a second.
You're going to drink more Slow and Low. That's the sound of Slow and Low.
I feel a song coming on tomorrow morning.
Yeah, good, maybe.
I think that's true, and you just have to recognize it and realize it. And a lot of people go, it's not an issue. I don't have to have alcohol. I may write stone cold sober.
Yeah.
But some of the neatest and funnest ideas I've had have been after a night of drinking.
Yeah.
So you can either ignore it or say, okay,
right,
that might be a recipe.
Yeah.
And it's a write-off. So
of course it is.
Why wouldn't we?
Why not?
So to be honest, approaching the writing, drinking and watching people is my first, the first step in writing a song.
Yeah. Are more the ideas humorous at this point? Are you more focused on the humor aspect of things, or is it just whatever?
To be honest,
kind of comes to mind.
I go into departments. I go into funny departments, but when I'm writing with different writers or different artists, I go into what are they writing for?
Okay.
And I enjoy the serious writing just as much,
right,
as the funny.
Are you more comfortable writing with other people, or are you more comfortable writing on your own? Or is it?
It's both.
It's
I like
both.
it both.
Okay.
I mean, there's some songs I can write by myself, and some songs, if I hit a wall, I know I need help.
Yeah. See, I'm still trying to get into a groove with writing with other people. It's I've written so much on my own that when I'm with other people, it's more. Maybe I just haven't met the right person yet. Joe.
This segment is brought to you by Slow and Low and Farmers Only.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about the writing?
Maybe not.
No, I think that. Go ahead. Finish.
Well, no, I was just going to say that the few writing sessions I've had since I've been to Nashville have been productive, but a little awkward in a way.
Writing songs is like dating, co-writing, I should say.
Yeah.
And you have to just lose all your dignity, all your inhibitions, everything. I mean, has to be just completely off.
Yeah.
You have to just be like, it's like there is no holes barred.
Sure.
And you almost have to go into character.
Okay.
You almost have to go into a different person as a spectator.
Right.
And when I go into a co-write, I go in full on.
Do you go into co-writes with ideas?
Yeah.
Like starts and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or like,
yeah, I'll go into a little hook book kind of thing on my phone. I'm always typing down titles, or concepts or ideas. It just depends. But, some writers, I'll throw out an idea that I think's great, and they're just like, they don't even get it. So you just have to store it and not take it as an insult and take absolutely nothing personal.
Right.
That's the biggest thing. It just might not be right for them. It might not be right for the time. It might not just be right. But you can't get discouraged and can't be like, well, he thought that idea was silly.
Sure.
You just go, here's another one.
Yeah, it's either going to click or it's not kind of thing. Yeah.
And you can never force or fight a song. It's just, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
But if you can get past the idea of it's a personal thing, it's a thing.
Right.
These songs are out there floating around.
Right.
It's your ability to catch them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And get them from out there down to a piece of paper.
Right.
Down to a melody, down to a recording.
Sure. How soon after you've written stuff do you demo things right away, kind of, or do you give it a little time to percolate?
Percolate's a good word.
You're
It's a
welcome.
good word.
You're welcome. I was an English major.
I don't normally hear that late at night. Percolate is normally associated with
It's like
coffee
an early morning thing.
in the morning. But percolate it is, and it's
That's it.
midnight. But that's all right, because I've got 2 more bottles of Slow and Low.
That's exactly it. We're good to go there.
It depends. I mean, there are times when, like, Pray For You, we wrote on a Sunday, and we went into the studio on a Tuesday.
Oh, that's soon. Okay.
Yeah, just that quick. Some of the others, we've taken some time, let them sit, let them marinate, come back to them.
Right.
I wrote a song on a bus with the guitar player and Steve Holy. We were doing 90 miles an hour down the interstate to Colorado.
Shit? We're going to shit?
Yeah. I was going to say Chicago. It's funny how Chicago has shit in it.
It starts it.
I didn't know until now that shit has Chicago.
Sorry.
Yeah, the south side of Chicago. They've been swearing at us for years on the
Going to
radio.
shit.
Anyway, we were on the way to Colorado, and we wrote this song called Wonders.
Mm-hmm.
And it took forever. We played it out that night. I mean, we literally wrote it that day. And the band played it out at the Grizzly Rose that night in Denver. And then we played it out every night ever since. Steve's still playing that song out every night. And it made the record. Huh. But it literally took 4 years before it made the record.
Right, okay.
So, from Sunday to Tuesday, or 4 years, it all varies. And
I think that was always my favorite thing about songs is that there's nothing, and then all of a sudden you've got this thing that has its own identity almost. It's almost like a person.
It's like a kid.
It's like a kid, yeah.
And it's like somebody told me one time that songs are like kids. You have them, you conceive them, you create them,
yeah,
and then you try to get them to preschool, which would be the demo stage.
Right.
Then you try to get them to high school, which is the pitching stage, and then you get them off to college. And if they graduate, then they made it to the radio.
And they're just unruly adults wandering the world after that.
After that, they're just drunken sods looking for rehab. Brought to you by Slow and Low. So it's all over the board.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are instantaneous. Others take a long time.
Right. Yeah, I've definitely had a bit of both myself, so I get that, but it's still, the whole co-writing thing is still it's been a bit of a stretch at this point for me. So
I think you just have to go in there and just really lay it all out.
Yeah.
And just go for it.
Have you ever pissed anybody off?
Come on, absolutely. I've had people just be like, "Hey, this isn't for me," and they just leave.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a good example of some. I've had some that I just know that aren't going to work.
Right.
And I'll be like, look, we can either just go get lunch or, I'll buy.
On me.
Yeah.
On me.
I'll buy lunch. Let's go. My thing is, the best co-writes I have is being able to either hang out with that person and see if I can gel with them first.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, if I can't
imagine you not getting along with someone, or maybe I can. I don't know. Maybe
it's hard. I mean, I don't have hardly anybody that I can't get along with.
Yeah.
It's just I can either choose to adapt or choose not to either hang out with them.
Right. Right.
But even serious songs, I think, should show up easily.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they should be forced and contrived.
Right.
If we can't sit in a bar and have a drink and laugh and be on the same page, we have no business getting in a room with a guitar.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly.
So, my thing is, my prerequisite to write with somebody is, okay, let's go hang out. If we can hang out, and we can, because all these songs are stories.
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah.
And can we connect? And can we project our story to a mass audience?
Right.
So,
do you find it hard to come up with new, because I've been at this for a long time, so for me it's always a challenge to come up with something that's fresh, that kind of
I came up with a fresh idea 2 nights ago in a bar, and I laughed out loud.
Yeah.
Stuff is everywhere. You just have to look.
Sure.
So I guess, no, I don't have trouble. I haven't yet had trouble finding new ideas, because if you just know how to look and listen,
right,
they're everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just reaching out and catching them. I think the trick is now is, so much has been done. You're just trying to make sure that you find a fresh way.
Yeah. That's more what I was asking, I guess, because it's, so much of what I hear on the radio now and so much of what I hear in country music is and not to put anybody down. I have a lot of respect for anybody that's out there doing it, but I do hear a lot of the same ideas. I do hear a lot of the same lyrical content and that kind of thing. And it just, it strikes me as like it's lazy songwriting.
It's like baking chocolate chip cookies. You got the dough, you got the flour, you got the eggs, you got the chocolate chips. Bam, you've got a cookie. Everybody likes chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
I like to write snickerdoodles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to eat a snickerdoodle all the time, but everybody likes them once in a while.
Yeah.
So I like to write those outside the box ideas where people go, you know what? The guy has a point.
Sure.
I don't think my songs are going to be listened to every day.
Right.
They're definitely not going to be chocolate chip cookies.
I would listen to the Pubes on the Soap.
Pubes on the Soap is a hit.
Nobody's going to know what we're talking about. I don't know. Do you have a version of that somewhere?
I have a bus version. We'll put on this.
You'll need to send it to me so we can. Yeah, and the audience now is going to stay tuned.
Yeah, you'll have to hear Pubes on the Soap
on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, the edge of their.
Or fast forwarding now. They're going to just fast forward the rest of this to go. I got to hear the Pubes on the Soap.
I'm going to the Pubes on the Soap.
I brought my parents in to see you. I remember when I was.
You were
doing a Broadway gig, and I brought my parents in, and they had the best time.
Do they still talk to you?
No, they don't. No, we're not talking anymore. No, that was great. And you played that song. I mean, I remember you asking permission. You looked at me and I said, "This is my mom and my dad." And you said, "Are mom and dad ready for Pubes on the Soap?" And I said, "Well."
What did they think? I mean, what did they say?
It. They had I've never seen them laugh that hard. I haven't seen my mom laugh that hard in years. It was great.
So that's the idea. I mean, the idea is nobody's going to care what you said or what you did, but they're going to care how you made them feel.
Yeah, right.
So if I could, only meeting your parents that brief time, I haven't seen them since. Sure. If they can hear my name and go, "Oh my God, that guy!"
Yeah. No, they had a blast.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
sure.
To me, that's entertainment.
The secret of
that's
everything.
Music. That's the secret. Make them never forget you by doing something, positive. Through humor, through songs, if I'd have if we'd have come up with a really serious, heart-wrenching song, they'd remember that. But I think that they want to remember that they laughed.
Yeah.
They went, "Oh, that guy was an idiot."
Yeah.
That guy was just out there. But they remember.
Right.
So to me, that's what I want to do in music. I want to make people remember how they felt when they heard that song.
Right.
I was sitting in my car, and that song was my theme song.
Sure.
Whether it was a love song, whether it was a hate song,
right.
Whether it was a in the middle song, I wanted to remember when they heard it. They went, "Okay, that was
how
awesome."
Felt. Yeah.
Either I cried or I laughed,
Yeah.
or I laughed until I cried. Some people call me or text me or email me or Facebook me and go, "I thought I was going to pee my pants. I literally was laughing so hard, I was crying."
Yeah.
So to me, that's what it's about.
That's it. Yeah.
That's what I go for.
Yeah.
I don't go for right down the middle and hope that they get it. I'm not selling chocolate chip cookies.
You're selling snickerdoodles. Snickerdoodles made with slow and low whiskey.
Slow and low whiskey.
Snickerdoodles.
Brought to you by Rock and Rye.
We sit around and talk about our four-wheel drives. You get a little too...
I just thought, I have all these questions for you, and I'm like, looking at you now with just a blank.
I know.
My brain is just off.
Well, I look like Bozo the Clown.
No, you don't.
I mean, I didn't do my hair. And then look at this portrait. Did I tell you about this portrait?
Well, maybe I don't think we got that story, so maybe you can retell the story.
I wish our listeners could see.
We'll post it. I'll take a picture. We'll post that picture on the website when I get all this up and going.
Yeah. It's a portrait of me drawn by a fella named it says it right here, Chris Wright. I was in Chicago, Illinois, at a place called Carol's, and got up and played with a band, and I played Pubes on the Soap. Actually, I'm blonde and you're blonde, so tell me, whose black pubes are on the soap? Everybody in the place was losing it. They were laughing.
Of course
except
they
for one black
It's still
fella.
funny to me.
I know.
I've been hearing it for a year, and it's still funny.
I know. One black fella. There was one black fella in the place in Chicago, and he was staring at me, and in the bar room, smoke and light, I couldn't hardly see, but he was not happy. I thought so. I get off stage, and it turns out that he was sitting there drawing a caricature of me. I've never had anyone do a caricature of me. But there it is.
So he handed it to you. So you thought he was not enjoying pubes on the soap.
I thought he was upset about black pubes on the soap. It turns out he was just concentrating.
I got to get the essence of Joe Denim down on this paper.
Yeah, I've really got to capture this moment.
Oh God!
But he did
I really wish people could see this right now.
I wish they could too. I'm looking at it.
I'll snap a photo. I'll snap a shot of that, and we'll put it on the.
Yeah, it looks.
We'll put it up.
Looks like I don't know. We'll talk about it. We'll get comments. We'll
get people to comment on this.
Caption this. Caption this will be.
Caption this. I like to ask this: funniest, craziest thing that's ever happened to you on the road, and maybe you can or can't tell this, but Chris Nix had a hard time. He had to keep it. You don't have to keep it PG. I don't really give a fuck.
I don't give a fuck either. Let me think. Man, I'd have to think about that for a second. Yeah. That's a great question. Funniest thing. I'll be honest.
One of the weird shit happens.
I mean, the funniest thing that I think. There's several of them come to mind.
We have time.
Okay. The one thing that I remember, we were playing somewhere in Wisconsin, and it was Steve Holy and Blake Shelton.
Mm-hmm.
And after we got done doing the show, the casino up in Wisconsin, for whatever reason, shut down early. So like by midnight, we were done.
Mm-hmm.
No more drinks, no more hangout, no more music, nothing. So we're literally sitting in the hotel going, okay, this isn't going to work. So we tried to get some runners to take us in some cars to a bar. So I'd find a bar. So I literally looked at my phone and I'm like, look, there's a thing called the Blue Goose. It comes up on the internet. It's a Blue Goose. It's like 9 miles from here. Let's just go there. Sunday night in Wisconsin. Not a lot to do.
Right.
I call them. They said, yeah, we're open till 2. So I tried to get some runners in cars. Couldn't get the car, so we had to wake up the bus driver. And we drive 9 miles to the Blue Goose. Now, the Blue Goose is probably about 800 square feet of bar on the side of a road with the light bulbs burned out the window. Blue Goose. We come rocking in there with $2.5 million tour buses. And we park them like they're Honda Accords right in front of the door. And we go in, and there's 4 people in the bar. Blake Shelton, Steve Holy.
Right.
I think that was all of us. And the band, the whole band.
Right.
So there's like 20 people coming out off this bus, half hammered because we've been drinking all night. We had a show, so of course we were drinking.
Of course.
We get in there, and everybody looks around, and people start getting out their phones, and they start calling. Well, by the time 1 o'clock rolls around, 2 o'clock in the morning, the place is freaking packed. There's a line out the door.
Because everybody knows you're there.
Everybody knows we're there at this point. They could get another person, and the fire marshal showed up. And we were at the Blue Goose, spiking the jukebox, just playing old Merle Haggard. I mean, just old country shit.
Nice. Yeah.
And people are like, we want it. We're like, no, you guys. We literally took one of Blake Shelton's band members and stuck him by the jukebox and said,
don't let anybody else play anything.
You can't. We've spiked it for all night.
We own this bar.
It's ours. And we literally, I think we left at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, they left it open. It was one of those moments, and not crazy funny, but it was just, who takes 2 buses to the bus wheels cost more than the bar. It was but it was so fun.
That's great.
And we had a freaking blast, and it was just.
Next time you're drinking whiskey, one of my buddies, this guy Zach Stewart's a drummer, great drummer in town, and we were on the road a few months back, might have been 3-4 months ago, and we had a night off, and he said, well, we have to have a twitty party.
A what?
A twitty party.
Oh, a Conway twitty?
I'm like, what's a twitty party? He said, well, you sit around, you drink whiskey of your choice, and you get drunk and you listen to Conway Twitty songs all night long on just whatever.
I'm in.
So Twitty party.
Twitty party is.
Yeah, Twitty party.
And a Prine. John Prine. When I get hammered drunk late at night,
Prine party.
Especially on the West Coast,
yeah.
John Prine.
John Prine.
John Prine, Guy Clark.
Yeah.
Neil Young.
Yeah.
Harvest Moon. The best thing to do is just sit and listen to Harvest Moon.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You know. And every time he plays the harmonica, you do a shot.
Oh, God.
You'll be hammered.
I bet. In the first minute. What's the thing you're most proud of? Like, I
think I'm most proud of. That's a good one. I'm really proud to Pray For You.
Yeah.
I really am.
How high on the charts did that get for you?
It got to 12. It should have been a number one.
Yeah.
It should have been number one. But it went double platinum. It sold 2 million records. And it's still selling.
That's more than I've sold.
Well,
I sold my first record went plastic.
Well, my new one's gone womanized. It's going timber. I would say Pray For You right now, because it related to so many people. Mm-hmm. So many people. I've heard hundreds and literally thousands of stories.
Yeah.
About how people went. I got to tell you why that's my song.
Right.
And again, like we said before, that's my. If I can literally make someone feel something.
Yeah.
That I don't know, then I'm proud of that moment.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it for me.
Sure.
We got some new ones coming out. I got a new song that's heading out to the highway that a buddy of mine recorded. The song's called "Wake Up Drunk," and we've all done it.
Yeah, of course.
But I've never heard somebody say. I've never heard him sing "Wake Up Drunk." So we wrote it, and we wrote it sitting right here at this exact table.
Really?
I mean, it's the same kind of thing.
Okay.
And now it's on terrestrial radio. Mm-hmm. You know, it's getting spins in secondary markets, and it's doing very well.
Nice.
And people are loving it. And I think the launch date is January 15th for the huge push.
Uh-huh.
But, you know.
Is your plan to do, do you have a plan to do a full record at some point, or are you just going to do singles, that kind of thing for now? Or
we did the 6-pack.
Okay.
Because we want to tie everything to drinking. Because we can. But eventually we'll do a full record.
Killing me.
But I think the attention span, you know, I can listen to 6 of my songs and I zone out and want to just go to a Twitty party.
Yeah, Twitty party, yeah. Of course.
Kanye Twitty. You know, Conway Twitty actually invented Twitter. They were going to call it Twitty forever, but then they decided not to.
Like I said, Geddy Lee Lewis.
The guitar was this big. We should take a commercial break so I can pee.
Okay, we can do that.
Let's do that.
Or we could, okay. Let's do that. Then we'll do that when we come back.
We'll be right back with Slow and Low, Rock and Rock.
You broke my heart, bitch.
He said, that stuff is great.
Isn't it great? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I knew you'd like it.
The truth of it is the realistic of drinking and hanging out.
Yeah.
That's it. Nobody gives a shit about. It's not about professional. If we were professional, we'd work at Staples and sell computers. Fuck that.
It's true.
No,
it's true.
seriously.
I'd like to have you play something if you want, and then I don't know if it's something we can do here if we have to move everything because you're.
I mean, we could do it right here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I mean, you want piano or guitar?
Whatever you're comfortable, whatever you feel like playing at this point in time.
I think we gotta play Pubes on the Soap.
Well, I think you should play Pubes on the Soap.
Let me get a guitar.
Okay, why don't you get a guitar?
Hold that thought.
I'll hold. I'll give a commentary.
Not the Chuck Wick song.
Not the Chuck Wick song. I'll hold that thought.
Okay, you talk to them about that. I'll get a guitar.
I'll give a play-by-play while you're getting the guitar. So Joe is now standing up. He's walking across the kitchen with his portrait, and here he comes. He emerges from the room with a guitar.
Here,
let me give you another mic here.
With a guitar.
Let me give you 2 mics. 2 mics are better than 1.
2 mics. Mike who? Let's do this real quick.
That's me.
Just hear those sleigh bells ringing under a bridge. All right, so are we ready to do the cheating song? Are we good? This is a cheating song. It's how to spot a cheater. It's a pre-cheater song. It goes like this. No, the warning signs were not everywhere, and I didn't find some stranger's underwear. I don't mean to be accusing, but it's a little confusing.
I spent an hour in the shower looking down at my toes. Oh, 'cause I'm blonde and you're blonde. Tell me whose black pubes are on the soap. There it is. No, nobody left the seat up on my throne. And I didn't find some strange number on your phone. I asked the neighbors for a favor. Have you seen anything? And they said no. Oh, but I'm blonde and you're blonde. So tell me whose black pubes are on the soap. Yeah, go on and try to explain. You're gonna wash us down the drain. I'd love to hear how your story's gonna go. Oh, 'cause I'm blonde and you're blonde. Tell me whose black pubes are on the soap. Tell me whose black pubes are on the soap. I mean, that is magic.
It is magic. You want to play another one? You got anything else?
I can.
You got anything else? I mean, that's it. Is that it?
You're a guitar player.
I am.
You're way better than me.
I don't know about that. Not right now.
I'll go ahead and sing a song about this guitar.
Okay. I'm going to use my iPhone as my mic now.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
It doesn't really change anything.
So George Harrison had that song, While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Yeah.
And what's his name? B.B. King had Lucille.
Yeah.
And my idea was that these guitars see everything. They see the drunk, they see the sober, they see every night. And I thought Eric Clapton had Layla.
He did. So did George Harrison.
So did George Harrison. Imagine.
That's John Lennon.
Oh, sorry, wrong guy. Wrong Beatle.
John Lennon didn't have Layla.
So I thought, these guitars have seen it all. And they wrote songs about their guitar, so I decided that Joe Denim should write a song about his guitar. You want to hear it?
I do.
I saw you through the window. I could tell you'd lost your shine. How could anyone let you go? I'd give anything to make you mine. Well, I know you've been around, you've been played before. What do you say? You know I'll pay. Let's walk right out that door. 'Cause I'd really love to pluck you. I could pluck you all night long. Yeah, I'll pluck you in the kitchen. I'll pluck you like a chicken. I'll pluck you till the crack of dawn. When the day begins, I'll pluck your ass again. No, I'll pluck you till my fingers turn blue. Oh, oh, oh. I'd really love to pluck you. It's pretty good, isn't it? Can't wait to get you home. Wrap my hand around your neck. You know I'll hold you real close. I'll be gentle, don't you fret. Well, my friends are coming over to see the love I found. Hey, I don't care, you know I'll share. I'll pass you all around. 'Cause they'd really love to pluck you. We'll pluck you all night long. They'll pluck you by the hour. We'll pluck you like a flower. Pluck you till the crack of dawn. When the day begins, we'll pluck your ass again. No, we'll pluck you till our fingers turn plucking blue. oh, I really love to pluck you. There's a huge solo here, but I don't know it, so I'll just go to the chorus. I'd really love to pluck you. I could pluck you all night long. Yeah, I'll pluck you, I'll pluck you out of tune. I'll pluck you till the cows come home. When the day begins, I'll pluck your ass again. Oh, I'll change your old G-string. Oh, I'd really love to pluck you. Oh, I'd really love to pluck you.
That's great, man.
I mean, that is quality.
That's great. Joe, thanks for talking with me, man. I appreciate
you.
that. It's a good place to wrap it up, I think. I don't know where we go from there.
Don't know how to top
I think
that.
we can go from there. So, yeah.
I don't.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
On Turn It Up.
On Turn It On.
Turn it on.
You can turn it up. You can
I'm going to turn it up and turn it on.
You turn it up and turn it on.
I love it.
That's okay.
On. Turn it on.
Turn it on.
Turn it on.
Thanks, man. Beautiful. That's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed that talk as much as I did. I fucking love that guy. Joe has a lot of music available on iTunes. Just do a search for Joe Denim and you'll find him there. You'll be hearing from Joe Denim a lot more, probably seeing a lot more of us coming up soon, so get ready for that if you can. Thanks again so much for tuning in as well. I got a lot of really great feedback on the first episode that I did with Chris Nix, and so this episode is going up as sort of a holiday bonus thing. Christmas is coming and all that. So I wish you all a very, very happy and safe holiday season. I hope you all get to spend it with those people that you love the most. And I'll leave you now with another song that Joe Denim actually introduced to us on the bus, and again, it's another one of those things that I just can't listen to without laughing. I hope you find it as funny as I do. So anyway, that's it, everybody. Thanks again. I'm Michael J. I will see you again. There'll be more episodes of this up after the first of the year sometime. Not sure when that's going to happen yet, but there'll be a full website, and you'll be able to subscribe to this stuff on iTunes and all that kind of thing too. So I'll keep you posted. Please join us on our Facebook page, Turn It On Podcast. You can do a search for that. And that's it, everyone. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.